If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything, by Mark Twain.
So
Dealing with liars, you come to find out that keeping up with your lie is kind of hard work because you got to lie about the lie about the lie that you lied about. It's a lot of stuff to remember. Living your truth and telling the truth will set you free.
everyone knows it's hard to keep up with a lie. Like for a long, extensive time, like you can tell a lie right then and there, and maybe remember it for a couple of days. But after that, you sometimes your story gets messed up, or you slip up and say something. It's way easier just to tell the truth from the get go. No matter how hard it may be, no matter how harsh it may be, it is just easier to tell the truth. So always tell the truth. There's no need to make up a lie.
Tell the truth the first time. You ain't really got nothing to worry about. You ain't gotta remember nothing. You ain't gotta lie about it. You ain't gotta try to keep your story straight. Just shit. That's what happened.
I don't really lie because it's like I'm not about to remember all of that. I'd rather just tell you the truth. If you get mad at me telling you the truth, you're not like recognizing real. Like I respected you enough to tell you the truth. If it hurt your feelings, I wasn't like intentionally trying to hurt you. I just wanted you to know what was real or how I felt. You feel me? Like, well, what was going on with us? But other than that, I'm just not gonna lie because I'm not about to remember that. And if you bust me out and be like, well, you said this, if I did lie to you, it's because you didn't accept the truth and I had to say something to get you out my face at this point. Because you didn't want to accept it. Don't lie. Because why remember a bunch of stuff you don't have to? And if you're around people who make you feel like you gotta lie, then you need to not be around these people. Reevaluate your life. That's that simple.
If I tell you the truth, you don't need to remember anything. Sound about right. I mean, when I was growing up, I was taught better to tell the truth, you know what I'm saying, than to tell a lie. You know, you tell the truth and get in trouble. I mean, hey, you told the truth, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it don't work. Sometimes you might get in trouble, but sometimes you don't, you know. But it's better to tell the truth and to tell a lie and get caught into like 12 different things when all you had to do was just reveal one. You know, it makes it a worse situation, you know what I'm saying? And overall, like, telling the truth kicks ass, like, like, I don't know how else to say it, like, I mean, it just does, it just does.
The Touching Bases podcast. It's me, LT.
Jasmine. Naya.
Well,
Hey, and today we're gonna talk about drugs. So we're gonna talk about teens on drugs, bro. Yes, Quan wanted me to talk about the sherm heads.
Yeah, elaborate. Tell them what sherm heads are, because this new term I was introduced to.
And in Houston, people do this stuff called, we slang for it is sherm, but I believe it's embalming fluid. Another term for it is what? PCP.
Water.
And they put cigarettes, you call it dip. They put it on their cigarettes, sometimes they put it on their blunts, and they smoke it.
I'm putting this on blunt.
Bro, and they be like, yo, they be out of there. They be the freshest dude in high school, freshest dude on the block, bro. That boy start smoking sherm. He's out of there, boy.
What's the effects of sherm? Like,
the effects, man, your mind is gone. I don't really know. I can't really just tell you in details, but I know you basically out there and you become one of those people look at you and be like, he's a crazy person. Something wrong with him. He on this stuff. You know what I mean?
This makes me really have a question. When you see people talking to themselves, do you think that's because them drugs didn't hit too hard? Or do you think they currently high at the time? Because a lot of the stuff plays.
It's a combination of both, I think.
It depends.
They could have a mental disorder.
On top of that too.
People smoking this stuff and sniffing this stuff and just however they're getting it into them. Do you think that causes mental disorders?
Yeah, definitely. They're literally deteriorating their brain, like
yes.
Depending on what they're doing too.
Put holes in your brain.
Because when he's talking about the embalming fluid, I wouldn't even like know a sane person who would like voluntarily put embalming fluid on a blunt and then smoke it. Like
that
part. In the 80s and 90s, bro. Like when there was a lot of gang violence, we riding and I watch Colors, bro. Y'all ever seen that movie Colors?
Yep.
Man, them boys riding in the van, smoking on the sherm. They passing that sherm stick around. Yeah, y'all boys ready to
Stick.
do this.
The
Boy, put up
sherm stick.
at the birthday
The
party.
sherm stick.
So Donnie, you said the correct term for that is PCP.
Yes, one of them.
So
Let me
from
see.
a personal experience, not me, but somebody very, very close to me. I went out one night, went to a party. I woke up, they wasn't at home. It was weird. So I called and I'm like, hey, where you at? And, I was really, really scared. And somebody had slipped this woman a muffin. They was like, here, you got, or a cupcake, had a cupcake. It had PCP in it. He had PCP cupcakes and he had cupcakes with cannabis. So the person that was close to me, he gave a PCP cupcake to. And basically, he was drugging people to take them home. He did it to a few different women.
That's great.
So when I got the call in the morning, they started to feel hot. And then as they were driving, their body started to go numb. And they ended up leaning over as they thought. And the other person who was the friend witnessed it. Their body was just jumping. It was just dancing. It was just uncontrolled. Just, I guess, as you call motor movements throughout the body. And that person wasn't right for like 2 weeks at a time. And like I said, this is a person that was dear to me. So it was weird seeing the after effects. Like I didn't see it from the beginning, but to hear about somebody who's perfectly normal that doesn't do drugs, somebody slips them a cupcake, and they could have lost their life if that person wasn't riding with a friend and they just slumped over while driving. They could have been dead, all because somebody wanted to take advantage of them.
I want to chime in on that. My brother's best friend was killed due to someone. My brother's best friend is terrified of needles. So no tattoos, no none of that. And he drink, but you feel me? He knows his level of things. And he's done all kinds of different drugs, but just never nothing that needs an injection, never heroin, never like real. He did party drugs, basically. We could put it like that. Upper drugs. But once he moved to New York, he dated a girl that was on heroin, and she was actually shooting it with a needle. And he ended up calling my brother and telling my brother, like, oh, I think I got alcohol poisoning. Him and my brother talk every day. And my brother was like, well, you should go to the doctor if you keep throwing up. And, he just telling like, you just go get yourself checked out just for the benefit of yourself. Come to find out, the girlfriend stuck him in the web of his hand with the needle of heroin, and he died. Thinking that he had alcohol. The same day he talked to my brother, he told him he was going to go back to sleep. And then if he didn't feel better, he's going to get up and go to the hospital. But he never got the chance.
Going back to that, we lost a friend from high school to him. We definitely did. His mom found him overdosed.
But my thing is like, being that we went to like high school in a really wealthy city, it was so easy for these kids to get access to all type of drugs. Like all type easily. Like easily.
Drugs are accessible everywhere.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say. I learned it don't matter what environment you in.
Well, you will find you some drugs.
One thing you gonna find in that motherfucker, drugs. Everywhere. I'm telling you, bro. I can go anywhere, bro. Y'all can go anywhere, and I promise you, if you looking for some weed or something, you ask the right person, you can find it. I guess you can find it.
Honestly, weed and alcohol was easy. That was more accessible. Now the people doing heroin or something else, like I remember walking into a party in high school, watching somebody sniff a line off the table. Mind you, we in high school.
What high school did y'all go to?
Dublin High.
Oh.
But I remember somebody
Both
just sniffing out.
I did, and then I moved and went to another really tiny all-white high school. And I say all-white with emphasis, because some of the black kids, they were debatable. No offense.
And you want to know something? With me going to two different high schools, I went to Mount Eden and Hayward. What was accessible was weed and edibles. You didn't hear about nobody doing nothing else. You didn't hear about nobody drinking. If they drank something, it was beer. Until I went to Dublin High, it was getting real fast.
Yes. When I first went to Vacaville High, this is basically like your military school. So people come from all over and live in this little city because they're either in the Navy, the Air Force, the Army. So you feel me? Your family's got something going on. So you all go to this tiny itty bitty school. and your parents fund the school. So a lot of them didn't get disciplined. Like when they knew that people were either like other students were telling on them, then like some authority figure would be coming to look for the student. They would hurry up and be like, "Oh, can I go to the bathroom?" And whatever they had on them, like I told y'all, I saw a girl go stick crystal meth in the pipe of her car, the tailpipe of her car, and I'm like, "What? We only like 16, 15." Like, ma'am, you was only a sophomore. Why is you doing it? You don't.
I think a lot of these kids come from backgrounds where their parents do these drugs because honestly, I don't know where to get crystal meth from.
That part.
I know how to find a weed man for sure.
Yeah.
He the one with the black hoodie on, or he could be the one dressed like a little nerd. You can find it. But somebody selling crystal meth, coke, crack, whatever.
I never forgot too. This girl, she used to play soccer, right? So this was, I guess, peer pressure in high school. You feel me? Like we can't just dismiss that. Peer pressure is so real in high school because people are trying to find their identity in their quote unquote golden years. But this girl played soccer, really, really good soccer player, really good student, got a hold hanging of another crowd or whatever. And people were just like, she just started going downhill. And I had her in a math class and she used to be slitting her gums and putting like whatever she was mixing into the Orajel, like the squeeze tubes, that's what she would be putting in there in class. Now, what she's putting in her mouth, don't know. But for you to be on something where you need to slit your gum and start to put this stuff in there, you can tell it's not just Orajel because of the color of it. So I'm just like, y'all is wilding. Like I've never seen stuff like this. And a lot of people said it's crack because a lot of people tend to put like those who don't want to stick themselves and leave marks shoot crack into their gums. And so I was like,
usually when you see the police try to see what it is, they dip their finger and put it in their gums. Yeah.
And that was my first time. Like you see people in here, like how Jasmine, you hear people say that, you see the police do it, but to actually see a person in my peer group doing this, wow. Like, it was wilding.
And one time, this is when I knew I wasn't gonna mess with her for real. So she schooled me up one time, right? Because I was gonna get her car and just take her to work, just go do hood rat stuff. So she wanted to go give me some weed, right? No, I was in my car. I'm tripping. I went to go pick her up. She went to go buy me some weed, but she wanted to get her some coke. So I was like, what? But I'm like, you know what? I don't care. You know what I mean? Do your thing. So
do your thing.
She got a coke. When we in the car, I'm rolling up, and she just nipping the line, bro. I'm just like, yeah, she out of there. But you know what?
That was one and done.
A lot of kids that I went to school with did coke. Like they was just doing it like it was just drinking water.
Yeah.
And I remember kids used to be getting nosebleeds out the blue, and I used to be like, do y'all see the damage y'all cause y'all body? Like this is not worth it. And then like if you do coke too often, you can't even have sex as a man at some point. Like,
but you got to think about it like this, like people who don't drink think we're crazy for drinking on the weekends. So like, I don't know, their mindset might be a little different. So they probably like, whatever, like I've been through this with my body before. So
I just think we talking in terms of teenagers, babies. Consider babies. Kids that like, how as a kid do you know to slit your gums and put something in it? How do you know how do you know where to get these drugs from? Either I was a very oblivious kid and just stayed in a kid's place, or what's going on at home is really what's going on at home, because it's usually a drug abuse household. Because it's like, how?
I'm for real, because the girl, when she started slitting her gums, she started to look like Jack Skellington. And I was just like, whoa. And then her teeth started looking like, I don't know what. They start turning brown. And I was just like, whoa. It was really nice. Like, I would hope now, like, she's, you feel me, better. But
that's nasty.
And that's what I'm saying. How much of this stuff are you doing for you to be what? I moved to this school freshman year. I had her in my freshman year class. at this point, I didn't really know. I didn't pay attention to what was going on. But then I came back the next year, which was my sophomore year, and she started looking more a little sucked up and sunk in. And I was just like, whoa, like, at what rate do you have to be doing this for your teeth to be decaying like this?
Yo, who that be doing meth, bro? I don't be judgmental, but when I see a
When
white
someone
person,
says I ain't trying to be judgmental, they about to be judgmental.
eat it on, bro.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah. If I see them black in their gums, like and they teeth, bro, I'll be like, bro.
Somebody tried to lie to me and say that it's the fillings that make your teeth black.
Hell.
Not like your teeth black, but say you got here's your tooth, and they just filling it in with whatever like stuff you get, and maybe your insurance will pay for porcelain. Okay, that happens sometimes. But I've never seen teeth go black. I always see them be like that mercury-like color.
No, when you see it.
Like I told you, I seen somebody's teeth that was translucent. So teeth can do a lot of amazing
That
things.
is crazy.
And
His
once
enamel gone.
going, you need to stop.
But at that point, they are addicted. We all have our own addictions. Whether
wilding.
You play video games every day, you eat cake, you got movie addiction, you like nail polish, you like herbs, you like it's whatever you can get away from.
I went to school, people was sniffing nail polish. Yeah, I told y'all. My little school, they was just wild.
I mean, I remember growing up as a kid, I liked the smell of cleaning products because we always had to clean. We always had to clean. We cleaned every day.
I remember they used to get high off of Elmer's glue too.
Yeah. That's where it started.
Yeah.
Y'all ever met somebody that be huffing gas?
Yeah. I know a couple of them. Yeah.
Young people, bro.
Well, I need y'all to go back a little bit. How do you get out of Elmer's glue?
You sniff it.
It's chemical.
Glue in your nostril.
No. The fumes of it.
Yes. Just like how with markers, how kids used to be sniffing Sharpies when they used to be extra strong.
Maybe I was a drug addict as a kid. I used to be coloring my
You ain't never used to smell the little markers every now and then?
I just thought I used to color my nose.
But sometimes it's when you smell. Sometimes when you smell or crave something, it's telling you that there's something wrong with your body.
Yeah, we wasn't smelling it to like knowingly get high. We were just smelling it.
Not because like
different.
Some people, I think I was in 5th grade. Yeah, I think it was in 5th grade. People were smelling whiteboard markers.
I need to track it up right now.
Whiteboard markers?
Yeah, whiteboard marker. I didn't color my nose in 5th grade. I was probably in I don't even think I was in preschool yet.
You want to know a funny story? It was this boy in 3rd grade. There was this boy in 3rd grade, and his name was John. I don't remember what his last name was. And he would open the pixie sticks, put it on the table, and sniff it. And we was in 3rd grade.
Oh, you know the girl with the split gums?
He's seen some things.
The girl with the split gums, she was sniffing Sour Patch.
He definitely seen some things.
Yep, she was sniffing that off the desk.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, are they learning this stuff at home?
Yo, look.
Or the media.
And it got to be as either that or some.
But you got to think about it.
It's not always at the house, though.
When year did Glow come out?
Y'all remember the cigarette candy?
Oh,
yeah.
You get them from the ice cream man.
No, they do it to us. Hey, we be out on with the little piece of candy. Yeah, man.
But okay, so we did that, right? But where did we see it at? Who in your family was smoking a cigarette? Or in the friend?
Smoker.
My papa.
But I never ate those candies. My mom used to be like, let me see you come home with it. I'm going to rip your lips off your face.
I never let him.
I already knew.
Okay. A lot of parents and grandparents don't know the biggest influence that they have. Like, our addictions really do start with our parents. They really do. Like, if your parent drank, 9 times out of 10, you might drink. Now, the smoking could go either way based on psychology.
I feel like drinking too, though. Because, like, my dad was a real alcoholic. Like, great dude. And don't get me wrong, he was a functioning alcoholic. Like, breaded, banded up, but he go to work drunk as hell and do his job and come right back home get drunk. And
Yeah, I can't.
you feel me? Like super smart,
I
graduated
can.
top of his class from Stanford.
My family, or I should say, my parents. My mom never smoked or drank.
My
My
mom
dad
either.
drank probably at occasions that I did not know about, and probably not my mom either. But over the time period, like I found out that my grandfather drank beer, but I never would ever see him with a beer can ever a day in my life, until like I got older. But a lot of my peer pressure, came from peers, like, or the influences, I should say, came from peers. It wasn't necessarily from an at home thing. It was more just going outsource, seeing other people doing
Yeah,
it.
that's what I was saying.
Speaking back at Donnie, like with the cigarette candy. Like I saw that other people doing that, and it was just like, oh, that looks cool. Let me try it. We as friends, we would go out and buy them little packs.
Oh, do y'all remember when people used to be taking Smarties and acting like they were pills?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that.
Pez, though, the
It
Pez,
got
the
so
Pez
bad, like
machine.
when we was kids, we was taking apple juice shots. Like it was like we're putting, pouring the juice into the cap and then taking it like a shot. Everybody did that.
I remember.
The only thing I did as a kid was act like apple cider was wine.
That's similar. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. You thought the juice was liquor or some sort of alcoholic beverage.
What we're exposed to, that makes me still wonder. Like, I saw this on the news. I was telling you guys the other day. Kids was over here just taking gummy bears to school, infusing alcohol, getting sick because they don't know the ratio of how much they've now consumed. And then people was turkey basting in the butt with alcohol. Like, I mean, there's no way to say that other than what I just did. Like,
you want to know the best thing about being a teenager or a kid and doing drugs and alcohol? We were inventive. We or they were inventive.
We or they. Nah. Snitch on yourself.
But like I'm saying, so from experience, me getting smoking in high school, I've smoked out of an apple, I've smoked out of a Coke bottle, I've smoked out of a Coke can. Like now people be like, I gotta go get me a swisher, I gotta go get me a backwood. Like if you don't go invent some shit and let's do this. But back then, I guess
we were engineers.
Exactly.
Because y'all had to be.
Yeah, ingenuity.
But do you see how we didn't have the resources? Well, we had resources. We made best of what we got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because we weren't able to, because we didn't. But the fact that kids are that smart to invent and think of ways how to basically get their high.
That is wild. Period. I would want to know how they came up with that. I want to know like what part of what book about the anatomy did they just like, yo, we can do stuff with our butts. You know what I
mean? That's what I be thinking. Like the turkey bases thing, I will never get over that. Like who just thought one day like.
Honestly, I think a lot of that comes from like how, I'm not sure, but I've never done it. So, but like
she had to make that clear.
This is my theory. Okay, you know how they got a lot of these web shows, like you feel me? How we got WebMD and you got all these like doctor shows, and they tell you when you do certain things at certain rates, this will be the cause, or this will be the effect of it. And it's like a lot of us learn that and retain that information. And I think maybe we just decided like, let's go test it out. Or they decided, let's go test it out. And it worked. Like, I don't know.
I'm not sticking nothing up my butt to get drunk. First of all, you're not gonna burn my booty hole. Okay, because if it burns going down my esophagus, it's gonna burn my rectum. So no. And then it's coming out my butt because it's fluid. No.
Not happening.
I don't believe in this. Like, if you want to get drunk,
I don't think it's that serious to get drunk.
You need to let it go.
I just don't think it's that serious. If you can't drink it through the mouth and get drunk enough, like, look at that.
That made me think of Frank on Shameless. He was
he used to do anything, bro. He used to do anything.
It starts really in anatomy school.
You probably did.
Like, or anatomy class, I should say. Like when they go past high school or get into college for like doing stuff for, health class or like health fields, I should say. When they do research on that, like majority of like where we say it was in college when they were doing this. I don't think it was in high school, but
I mean, in high school, the most I knew for people doing stuff with alcohol was putting clear alcohol in a water bottle.
Bro,
right. That's my
in high school. It was turned, bro. I didn't really get turned like that until maybe like my sophomore year. Like weed was just the most, but I remember in middle school we had a little session where people was passing out because they was overdosing on pills and all that, bro. And they just had.
See, we talking about teenagers with drugs, but it started earlier than that.
It definitely started earlier than college.
I'm just thinking about when Dublin High had parties every weekend and kids would literally get blacked out drunk. And cops used to have to come and shut parties down. We was in high school.
Do you
remember was everybody's parents?
Do you remember the party where the girl died in her closet?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah, she got too drunk. And it was just like, and it's a house full of teenagers. And I'm like, where is everybody's parents? Does nobody really have like pay attention to their kids? And it's starting to seem like once people become teens, as long as you ain't having sex and you with your one best friend that I know of,
you good.
Right.
And that's the problem.
I don't think a lot of people recognize so young that drinking this alcohol is gonna burn you out when you get older. Like either it keep you up there, you found out early, you love it, or you've done it so much so early that you just be like, okay, this is not it no more. Like you just be over it. Some people grow out, some people stay with it.
I used to drink heavy. Like, yo, I'm talking about, man, we used to be turned. Nah, it's this when I got to college, you feel me? Because I was drinking a little bit in high school, you feel me? But it wasn't like that because I didn't have access to it. But when I got to college, bro, and we was just out there, man, bro, we was getting drunk every day, every morning, going to class.
Why do I feel like I noticed y'all was drinking moonshine?
Let me tell you, when I got introduced to real moonshine, yo,
I feel like I knew you at this time.
Danger. I was like, yo, I think you probably did, yo, because I was in Jackson, Mississippi, and yo, them boys put me on that moonshine. I was like, yo, this is wild. Like, this is wild.
I knew you at this time, yep.
Like back then, there's plenty of pictures of me drunk doing some crazy stuff. I used to get so drunk when we threw parties because I used to be with me and my partner. They used to throw parties and I used to be there, bro, and cool stuff. I'm pouring people shots, bro. I'm so drunk. I'm pouring liquor all over the girls and stuff. I'm like, oh, my bad. Hey, drink that though. Right? You know what I mean?
What was the reason, as if y'all go back to y'all drinking and y'all smoking or whatever y'all did y'all like the feeling or were y'all doing it because it was a social setting? And if you like the feeling, what was the feeling?
Well, for me, when I used to drink, it was more so social because I was drinking and having fun with my peers and people I was involved with on a daily basis. So it was just, we were just getting drunk, having fun, or we'll just smoke and have fun. We'll do both. You know what I mean? I wasn't really the type of person just started drinking because I was sad or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Or emotional drunks.
I really don't rely on iniquities when I'm trying to deal with emotions, you feel me? Unless it's more so like anger, you feel me? Or something else. And I need to calm down before I address it. You know what I mean? So I don't really use it because I'm sad or something like that. It's just, you know what I mean? A moment.
I feel like that because I'm like, I don't drink at all. It's just that I get you with that whole emotional thing. If you can't handle yourself in your sober mind, whatever you do to enable it to go away for a minute, that tends to come back and like,
it's just gonna get worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know people like that. Really, really know people like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they won't fight you when you point it out. And it's like, but you know what I'm saying, so you wouldn't be this pressed if I didn't say it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
What y'all think about people doing DMT? I know it's for meditation, but people have taken that kind of away.
I think if they do it right, it's lit.
What
Now,
is
if you
doing it right?
friend, I mean, I'm saying like if you know what you're doing and you're doing it to get to a certain point mentally or spiritually and not overindulging, I mean, then hey, do your thing. Because I read about DMT. I never met anybody that did it or
Oh, I know
even
somebody who did it.
get to it for real.
But my question about it, I got another question to piggyback my question. So since you never
Mhm.
did it, I don't know if anybody just knows from reading. Like, what are the physical effects it could cause you? Like, obviously, we know crystal meth and all that would make your mouth look wild and your skin look bad. You come back like Freddy Krueger. But like, I'm saying, well, does DMT give you an effect like that? Like, some
Well,
sort of
DMT is really, it's being abused more so than it's being helpful or beneficial to folks right now, currently in this day and time. Um, I want like if we were to say DMT is like a relevation or relevance to ayahuasca tea. DMT is naturally produced by the brain. When we come into life's existence and when we drink. And the thing is, for the most part of us today, in this day and time, we are not like connected to our pineal gland. So we don't really know how to secrete it naturally. So,
So this is artificial DMT. They're not like
artificial, yes, artificial
draining
DMT.
people's chemicals in their brain to get the
No,
drug.
it's not draining. It's more of a artificial helper to activate it because we can't
Mm.
do it right now. We don't have
Mhm.
I should say it's a lost ancient ability. You see what I'm saying?
well, I got another question in for that. So we know cocaine releases dopamine, like drugs in general, basically release
Mhm.
Right,
dopamine. How we
right.
talked the other day. Does DMT release the dopamine too and help in the depletion of the dopamine?
No, actually, DMT will release dopamine, but it does not deplete it. It's a more natural understanding of the process of how it uses dopamine.
Mm.
The thing is, it produces dopamine and it will use at the same time. Versus cocaine will use and deplete your dopamine, and you won't have no internal way of sitting here trying to recreate it. So the cocaine will be as its additive source for you to sit here and want to crave it because you don't have no more dopamine. Versus DMT, you can use it and you'll still have your dopamine in your body, but like I said, people abuse it as if they want to go and get high. They want to go and experience that out of body trip. And they're not necessarily allowing their mental to heal. You see what I'm saying? Like you're not, as what they say, like they'll go out and then you never come back type of understanding. That's, you're not allowing your brain to sit here and reprocess the reality versus what you saw in the spiritual realm. That's what we would call the healing process. Because when you go through a spiritual drug or trip like that, it's supposed to open you up to make sure that you are regrounded back into the reality and know what to do after that point. Not go back there and be like, hey, I want to go and do this again, because then you'll always do this all the time. If you come back, it's like when you come back here, it's like, oh, I don't want this place. I want to go back over here. So your mind is always going to be searching for that spot.
But
And
I
once
feel like people are doing that with all type of drugs and alcohol. Like how
right, yeah,
One drug start young, bro. Caffeine.
Hey,
Yo,
caffeine.
with us, it be in juice, it be in the coffee. And all people life, they be like, I need that coffee, I need my caffeine.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
some people
Like,
be mean without their coffee.
I can explain for the
don't even
coffee part, because Donnie's right. Donnie's definitely right with the coffee part. It's like, I mean, I really don't want to get so deep into it, but melanin has a lot to do with the drugs that we take, coffee. Coffee bonds to the benzene that is in your melanin, or what we would sit here and say for your melanin, how your melanin is produced. It bonds to benzene. And when it bonds to benzene, it breaks down your ability to be able to create more melanin. So, like, where we sit here and say the coffee starts off as far as our drugs, yeah, it kind of does, because I mean, when you start to break down the melanin, and the melanin is like, hey, I need more of this because I can't produce naturally. So, it's more so it's like when people be like, yo, I need my coffee. Like, and they're spazzing out. Like they're actually, their body is telling them like, yo, look here, I can't produce naturally. So I'm going to eat you if you don't doggone give me what I need.
Yeah, that's where
their
addiction began.
all antsy. Like, give me my coffee. I need my coffee right now. That's where that's where that comes from. I used to work at Starbucks, so I know, like, they used to come rowdy. Like, I'm talking about seriously rowdy. They didn't get their coffee or wasn't done right the way they wanted it. They had a problem. So, it is like cocaine.
I don't know. I don't be trusting all this stuff. Like, even if you look at, like, I don't know, let's say, for example, how people have these cravings. And, I know, like, iron deficiency causes pica, within people. So would you think, like, some of this is, like, a touch of the pica for everybody to be craving all these drugs and all this alcohol? Like,
this my crazy theory, y'all. I think that there are companies who do experiments via putting chemicals and medicines in the air and waters and foods, and they see how people react to it and the things that they get from it, and then they create statistics.
Bingo.
And that's what I just think it all is, righteously. You feel me?
Bingo.
People worry way too much about money and don't care about enough of, like, humanity. Drugs. That's why they sell, like, look at how much they were selling cigarettes for. Like, they don't care. And look at how you could be 18 at one point and buy cigarettes. You're 18 to enlist into, like, the army. You're 18 in high school. Like, there's nothing. You don't see nothing wrong with that. But you're 21.
That's no longer happening no more, though, right? You gotta be 21 now.
Yeah, now. But look how long it took for them to do this.
Age limit.
That's a shame.
But I mean, you gotta think about it. Stuff has to happen for, laws and stuff to be made, to be changed. Like, kids used to work when we were younger, but now they have their child labor laws. Something has to happen in order for something to change. Otherwise, they think what can go wrong until something goes wrong. Then it's like, okay, let's put it in a law.
Would y'all smoke bed bugs like they doing?
What?
Never.
Johnny, that smile.
Bed bugs. Yo, this is
what he doing.
This baffles me, bro. They getting bed bugs and drying them out. Like they're getting dead bed bugs, drying them out, crunching them down, like breaking it down like some weed, bro. Rolling it up in papers, bro, and smoking dead bed bugs because they're the I don't know, that corpses, bro. It's giving off some type of.
You hit that blunt, Donnie?
No.
Somebody give me
Somebody
give me the history of bed bugs, where they come from, how you get them.
No clue. I have no clue. I do not know at all. What I do, that is one thing I would never do, bro. I don't care if there was a bug that turned to weed. The fact that there was a bug, I'm not gonna do that. You feel me? Like, if weed came from bugs bodies, like a dead bug, I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? Because
dead bugs date back to ancient Egypt. Sorry to cut you off.
I'm not finna smoke anything that sucks blood for a living. First off,
so bed bugs, you say, go back to ancient Egypt?
Ancient Egypt brought over to America by colonizers.
Look what they be colonizers. God, look what they be doing. Do y'all feel like they're helped in school?
No.
I never even had that program in my schools.
I just went for the candy.
All they did was talk about not smoking weed and not tobacco.
For the most part,
about not smoking crack and doing cocaine, because weed was fucking inevitable. Now, the rest of this shit, they should have been like, yo, Don't do coke. Rather you something. Rather smoke.
Don't smoke no bed bugs.
Well, for
Don't
me
smoke.
in the DARE program that I was in, we learned about the main drugs. Just besides what it did to you, what it did to your mind, what it did to your insides of your body.
They had pictures.
It helped me stay away from drugs. Like how y'all said, teeth was messed up, skin was messed up, people picking at that. Now, did it keep me away from marijuana? No, because all it was just like it kind of messes with your brain. It was kind of like a quick overview. You lose your brain cells. All right.
Nobody come back ugly from marijuana.
Eventually, we're gonna lose them because at 25, everything starts going backwards anyway with your brain.
She said.
So that's the only thing. Dare kept me away from the hardcore drugs, but marijuana.
So you think without Dare you'd be on some drugs?
No. No. I mean I didn't. Like I said, I was a kid that stayed in the kids' place. Like literally, I didn't know about a lot of stuff. Like I didn't know I had drug addicts in my family.
Medicines have like heroin and traces of like cocaine in them. A lot of functional drug addicts.
And some are in professions that deal with us, and they do it.
Oh, I know my teacher. He was high as a kite dealing with them students. He had to be, because I know he used to be pressed, and then one day he just stopped coming to school pressed. But you could look at him and be like, "You too happy. You too something. Something is going on, and you smell like loud. So I know something's going on."
He had to take a little hit real quick.
So, can we talk about the abuse of, I guess, medicine?
Remember I told y'all I knew some people that was doing sinus medicine, bro. They would go get a whole bunch of packs of sinus medicine. I didn't know that there was a limit on how much sinus medicine you can buy, because people out here buying like 30 packs of this sinus medicine and popping like 20 pills, bro, with some Sprite. You know what I mean?
You
like
want your liver,
bro.
your kidney.
And I'm serious,
bro. Like, yo,
what is this what is the surplus of sinus medicine doing to you?
They used to be tripping, bro. Like,
wait, it's the pill or the syrup?
It's a pill, bro. It was like little.
Lean got heroin in it.
And like 20, 30 of them, bro.
Perky, saw that.
I don't like lean. I've had it one time. I had a sip, and I just.
It wasn't for me. I tried it one time too, and it just.
I was like, I'm sleepy.
Being from Houston, I had to do it. You know what I mean? Like, that was something that I did growing up too, like as well. I started that in high school, and that was really just because
you're in the land of it, though.
Yeah, that's
from the land of the lean. Yes, you do. Texas.
We would bang screw, smoke weed, sip some lean, go out there and have fun. You feel me? Go do bad stuff. So, and I wasn't even really that heavy on it. You feel me? Like, I would just have access to it because I knew people that was heavy on it. So in the beginning, I would just do my thing to myself. I ain't really want nobody to know I was like doing that. You feel me? But then I was like, you know what? We can all just sit, bro. I would convince one of my partners to sit with me or something. You feel me? All right.
Peer pressure.
Yep. If peer pressure was a person, bro, it was me, bro.
That's crazy. He said it.
When I drink, I make them a cup, and they be like, "What's this?" I be like, "Get some juice, bro. Everybody get some juice." You know what I mean?
Look at you.
Get the party started.
Yeah,
I would have been knocked out.
When I had a boyfriend in high school, he was younger than me. He would not let me smoke blunts with lean on it. Not at all. Maybe like, nope, not at all. Yeah, but he wouldn't let me do that. He didn't even like me smoking with other people.
Yeah, because
but I used to do it behind his back.
There at that school.
Stuff though today, pills and all type of stuff. Like, I learned at a young age not to smoke nothing that I didn't see rolled. You feel me?
Yeah.
For the most part,
something that's pre-rolled, you got it. That's yours.
My brother's friend ended up smoking something that somebody had rolled, and life just went haywire after that.
I think one of our friends from high school did that.
If I don't know you, like on an extremely personal level,
ain't hitting your blunt.
I can't mess with nothing that you already rolled, bro. You feel me? Unless I know for a fact that you don't be on that.
But
Like,
even then, I don't like for other people to roll. When I did smoke weed, like y'all don't be brushing your teeth, and I be questioning that. I think too much.
that's a
My
big
biggest thing about people smoking with a whole bunch of people is who ate ass and who ate pussy just a second ago. Because I know some of y'all do.
You don't trust that they brush their teeth in between?
No, because
He said no.
I didn't.
Wait. The real question is, did you
Because
still hit the blunt?
But you
no,
still,
I don't. I don't because the
He hit
fact is,
that
I've
blunt.
had boyfriends who would do stuff to me and then go smoke, and I just be sitting there like, you know, I had to be quiet about it. Like, so I don't really trust smoking with a whole bunch of people. I really, really
Wow.
don't because
I mean, that's real.
Yeah, I feel that.
I don't like smoking with people who cough too much. I don't care how
I
you.
don't want you sniffing and licking none of that.
If you gotta, hey, you good? I'm straight.
That's my partner. My partner been smoking for the longest, bro. And that's how he hit the blunt every time. He really die on that motherfucker.
Nah, not every time, bro.
I don't like when people spit on like it like spit on the blunt. Oh no, you can keep it.
oh yeah, when I saw they got a lot of saliva.
They
You
give it
can keep it.
hella wet. Like nope.
But yeah, it be the people with them big old lips that be having the blunt sweat at the tip. I be like, Lord.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I think instantly mono because I knew too many people who got mono.
People did get mono in high school.
Yeah, in high school, doing all them drugs together, putting all them mouths together, and not brushing them teeth together.
And not brushing them teeth together though.
They added up, and they all were sick together.
Yo, I know another thing that people was doing in high school is ecstasy and handlebars.
For real though.
What's handlebars?
Man, it's like a relaxer. Yo, them bars, bro. It was on.
So what is that supposed to be?
It's like a muscle relaxer. Like, I don't know the real name of it, like the medical name of it. I just know the slang term from it. And I know my partners, when they used to do it, bro, he slumped out, bro. Slumped out.
I remember having Oxy as a teenager.
Like a couple
You
of
had
my
Oxy?
Oxy you get for your teeth. Like if you have like wisdom teeth pulled, they give you Oxy for that.
And that's the reason why I took it.
See, yeah, because like I can say perfect example is like I can't say that. But this person, they got it for their teeth, and that's how they got addicted to it. And it started to open them up to other drugs. And that's also why like dentists stopped kind of like prescribing opiates like that.
Speaking of opiates, let's talk about fentanyl.
Nah, but I know some people that smoke some weed that somebody sprayed with fentanyl. And
Is it spray? It's not a pill?
It can come like that. You know what I mean? You can get drugs in all types of forms. You feel me? You know what? It probably even wasn't fentanyl, but that's what weed was like, yo. That's what they sprayed on it. You feel me? But yeah, there's a lot of people that get their weed laced out here for real. People be trying to sell weed that ain't really good weed, so they to make it smell and smoke a certain way.
Yeah. Y'all put food coloring on weed, spray it.
Oh, bro, I remember dude tried to sell me, and then he had the spray too. He tried to sell me some blueberry spray. And I was like, bro, I don't want none of this now, bro, because I can't even trust you, bro. I don't know if you done sprayed this down before you came over here.
I know. It's used for pregnancy.
I'm using during labor.
Fentanyl in the epidural pen?
You get it before you get the epidural.
And what is in that?
What, the epidural?
Yeah.
Yeah, epidural is I just found out like it has like long lasting effects on you, or it could have long lasting effects.
It can have long lasting effects on your back, yes.
That's wild.
You don't, as the mom, you do not get to see the needle. Now the dad or whoever, because only one person could be in the room with the nurse, they get to see it. I never got to see it, never, and I didn't feel it both times. Like getting my blood drawn and getting the IV through my hand hurt, and I don't like needles. But when they put it in my back, didn't feel a thing.
That ain't good. They got found that sweet spot.
They put it in your spine.
They found a sweet spot.
Everything from your, let's say, your stomach down is numb. Like I couldn't
Hell,
even wiggle my toes. Like they had to give me my leg in order for me to hold it because I couldn't hold it. It was you temporary paralyzed, pretty much.
so I
But
feel like
that's on the epidural. The fentanyl is different. You can still move.
okay.
And the fentanyl is given through the IV. So,
I didn't
but
make.
pretty much it's a muscle relaxer.
Well, then why is people putting this in vape pens and juices for people to be smoking and
Get
juicing?
too high, man.
Same
They-
way that you people did lean. Same way people
That made
do
me think about
oxy.
synthetic weed. Like Wendy Williams' son had smoked some synthetic weed, got really sick.
Wait, now let's clear this up.
Hmm.
I got to address this. The the synthetic weed that they have now, I don't know what is in it because back in the day, you used to be able to buy synthetic weed in stores. Like they were actual packs, like Scooby snacks and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They was
Called
made.
K2 Spice.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But it wasn't what they got now. You know what I mean? It was one of the things that you'll if you smoked it, you probably like hit it like 1 or 2 times. Like one of them blunts will last you like 2 or 3 days. Feel me?
Hell yeah.
I mean,
That's but they get you messed up, like for real.
get you up there. It'll get you up there. But because when one of my partners used to be on papers, and I mean, it was just I do it with you, bro. You know what I mean? I got my other blunt too. I ain't tripping. You know what I mean? It was just like a social thing. Shouldn't have been doing it, but you know what I mean? Social thing. But
I
the
ain't
stuff,
smoking no synthetic weed.
the stuff they got now, bro. First off, it's not in stores. Second off, it's obviously being made in the back of somebody's house, bro, because you're hitting it. You're doing the jiggulator and all, bro. I don't know what is in there, bro. It's in a lot of jails. I tell you that much.
In my generation, we had real drugs. They little
We have real drugs.
It's a little manufactured, but today,
We had plans. Today they got real drugs.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Cause back then they had to hook the air freshener. Now, cause whatever was in the air freshener, they taking it out and they
And
getting
putting it in.
straight to it.
wow, I don't want no parts.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something about the bath salt thing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that made me think of that.
Yeah.
How people was eating upon people and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That ain't the only drug that make you do that though.
But I wouldn't want to eat nobody else.
It's a mental thing. It depends on where your mental at for real.
Like
Something
how
like
we were
that.
saying the other day when they came out with the pop rocks, that wasn't really pop rocks, and people was popping them crystals and I need to go back.
Yeah, it's a real
I don't want that. Like I even think about shrooms. What y'all think about shrooms?
I like shrooms.
Shrooms are very good. I love them.
But I don't do them with that. I can honestly say that was something I was really scared to do. So I did it in like pieces. And like, oh, okay, this is cool. You know what I mean? I can do a little piece of this every now and then. Yeah. But I don't really just do it too much for real. I think they're cool. You know what I mean? It's natural.
Well, see, you
did
can't
get
do
the
it
whole,
too
like
much.
Alice in Wonderland effect? How people were like, "Oh, this is that type of drug." Where like how the
Everything just looked prettier to me. That's all it was.
Whoa, but wait a minute.
And it was just like everything was. I was able to appreciate my environment more. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, oh, look at the leaves. This is cute. Look, pretty tree. Hey, little birdie. You know what I mean? I was just tripping.
But you do have to be careful because I mean, Donnie said he took it in pieces. Like there is doses to taking shrooms. Like it's not like weed where we could just smoke blunt after blunt and then we just pass out because we didn't hit our hiatus. But you take like shrooms, you gotta really do take it in doses, like how he's saying, because if you take too much, like you will have a bad trip depending on where your conscious or your thoughts are at. Like if you're not in a good mental state, you know, or like you ain't like really thinking clear in the box, like.
But with mushrooms, don't they have like long term effects too? Because hallucinogen.
Some
No,
of them.
Or
It depends on the type of mushroom
mushrooms.
you come in contact with.
like
They
after
got
your trip is over, do you like you can still there's still side effects from that, right?
No, well, it depends on the mushroom that you take. Like how Donnie was saying, like there are good mushrooms and then there are poisonous mushrooms. Some poisonous mushrooms will give you a psychotic effect, but it will have terminal effects after. But when you're taking what we would call shrooms or magic mushrooms, there is none because of the psilocybin or the fungi that is in that mushroom. It will only allow you to take but so much, and the fungi in it, when it hits your stomach, it basically gives you it gives an enzyme off in your body that tells you, I don't need no more of this. So you know, like it's a one-time experience thing, and then like you might be able to, your body will end up saying, hey, I want to take another trip of this like 2-3 weeks later, but your body won't crave it. And that's the beautiful thing about shrooms, the beautiful thing about it. And then it's natural.
So you do this often, allegedly.
I've,
I don't know
I've
if you
done
want to put that out there.
I've done shrooms often, yes. I started when I was in North Carolina. I had a friend that basically used to sell it, you know, and I had asked him about like what was the effects of it and how it made you feel and whatnot. And he was just like, look, instead of me like kind of really just explaining it to you, like I could run you through the waves. And I was like, waves, you know. He was just like, yeah, it's different from weed high where like you just get a nice long plateau type of high. He was like, you go through waves, you know. He was like, but you gotta have like somebody that, you know, if you're taking a high dose, you have to have somebody that's a guide or like a master, you know, practitioner of that type of herb in order for them to run you through that, because you know you can get lost mentally in a sense, like
need a
especially
shroom.
if you take a high dose.
See,
Okay.
That's what you mean, bro. You need a shroom head with you.
Yeah,
Not
you
a
need
not a
to
sherm
like,
head.
yeah, like a
Bring it
guru,
down
you
to
know,
simple
somebody that
terms.
know what they're doing, and
Yeah.
they can course you through it, because
I'm
like
cool.
you go through your first 3 waves, like your first wave is more of like you seeing the colors and everything is pretty, like how Donnie was sitting here saying. The second wave is like you will start to see like walls start to move and vibrate,
I
like
want to
as
feel
if
like
it's
I'm in a
breathing.
fun house.
Now, yeah, it's kind of like that illusion type
So,
of thing, but it's not so abruptive or
Nauseating.
eradicating like how you would be in a fun house. It's kind of very, very subtle, but it's more so like, oh, oh, you know, like, you know, but
nope, I
it
don't
will
want
be like,
and nothing.
And that all
but it's
depends on
not
the right dosage.
right, because at the end of the day, it's still about your mind too. Like if you're thinking negative and you have an anxiety type of mindset like that, or a fear based type of mind, when if you go in, it will start giving you things that your mind is paying attention to. So you have to have a real positive outset or outlook on life or whatever you're thinking at that current base time frame, with all the 45 minutes that it takes to and go into your body. Like once you start going through that, like everything becomes blissful. It's not necessarily like a scare and frightful thing unless you're preemptively like that.
Nope.
And what y'all think about salvia?
What
Nope.
is it?
Salvia divinorum is hella cool. It's legal in Connecticut, and I used to
What is
grow
it?
it.
What'd you say, bro?
Salvia divinorum. That's exactly what it's called.
You said is what?
Salvia
No, no,
divinorum.
no, no, no. I got that.
Johnny.
You said is hella what?
Cool.
It's hella cool.
Boy, you're crazy.
Don't do him.
No, I'm just playing.
Crazy.
No,
I personally, I don't mess with that stuff, bro. I done seen it, and I seen people do their thing. Now I know. Now watching it, I see that there's a spiritual aspect to it that you can approach and then attain certain things. But the way these kids are doing it, they out of pocket. I'm watching girls sitting on the couch, hitting it, bro, and falling off the couch, falling out the window, bro. Like,
yeah. Well, the only thing is, because what people don't understand about salvia is it's not. I ain't trying to go in no education course or nothing, but like salvia is a levels type of thing, just like how or doses thing, just like how we would say with shrooms. But the problem is salvia is so natural in its base state, or in its natural state is so not the potency is not there, you know. So where as we would look at shrooms growing naturally, you can take them and take one or two and then you're straight, you know, or little pieces of that, like how you were saying. But with salvia, when it grows naturally, it's just regular leaves. And they take those leaves and they will extract it or make stronger, potent extracts out of those leaves. And then they will add that extract to another set of leaves, and then they'll give it to you to smoke when it dries, because it's they always sell it to you like somewhat wet, because when it comes to you, that's all of the extracted oils and the how can I say it, like the chemical aspect of the psychoactive part of the, you know, the leaves that has been secreted from out of it with the alcohol. When it
And what do you
dries,
do?
alcohol dries, it's just a real potent herb that when you sit here and smoke it and hot inhale it like weed, you will have a psychedelic effect. It basically releases a very big amount of DMT in your body. That's what happens. Like DMT, shrooms, and salvia divinorum, they really are natural, but the way that we will make extracts or, you know, chemically alter it will affect overall how it is positive or negative.
I think for our generation, we like kind of eased into the drug era better than other generations, because we was more so like trying to be cool and not really trying to be on the heavy stuff. But it's like now, when people trying to get so creative, it's like they're just making new heavy stuff to just be on, bro. And it's like, y'all tripping, hey, y'all wilding. Like,
It seems like a lot of people are trying to escape their reality.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because we do live in a very, very dark place, and things get darker as we stay sober and pay attention to it. And I think a lot of people try to escape that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
but drugs are bad. All right, y'all. Look, don't do drugs, especially if you know you ain't just the brightest bulb.
Did
You know what I
you
mean?
censor yourself?
Huh?
Did you just bleep yourself in real
Yeah,
life?
I had to censor myself. You know what I mean?
This is a
I
different
mean, like,
breed.
overall, you feel me? Everybody's gonna have their experience with things in life, and drugs are naturally gonna be a part of that. It's just, you know what I mean? Try not to kill yourself. For real.
Right.
It's possible. Very, very possible, and highly probable with a lot of these drugs, bro. I mean, so hey, everybody just chill out. I mean, do your thing, but chill out, man.
Do not do your thing if you are under 21.
Oh,
Straight up.
Don't do your
hey,
thing if you're
Do
underage.
your thing responsibly.
Straight up. Straight up.
Don't drink and drive or arrive alive. You feel me? Don't get high if you can't handle the side effects. And don't let people pressure you into it, because it's not like it's supposed to be anyway.
Mm-hmm.
don't fall for people like me. Peer pressure.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
He stays some juice. Just stick to water.
Hope y'all enjoyed this episode. We enjoyed making it.